You're not prepared for this one, honey. Another shocking revelation has surfaced, and believe me when I tell that it will completely upend the hip-hop and romantic communities. Just when you thought the feud between Chrissy Lampkin and Jim Jones could get any more messy, it does. Imagine this. The person who supported Jim Jones through financial turmoil, public humiliation, and cheating scandals, the person who threw Chrissy Lampkin out of the house like yesterday's trash, will seem amazing. Joseph Go, Jim Jones's own son, finally lost it after playing Goodson for years. I've heard that it was more than just a heated argument. Supposedly, after witnessing the chaos for years, Joseph tossed Chrissy out of the house and touched her. But what had made Joseph lose it? What caused him to become insane? You'll have to listen to what caused this violent altercation, and I'm drinking hot tea. Hold on tight because this is going to become really messy. You think that Chrissy Lampkin's and Jim Jones's relationship was turbulent in the past, honey? But this time, Jim and Chrissy are not the only characters in the story. Jim's son, Joseph Guo, finally lost it in the most horrifying way imaginable. Hold on tight then. You'll have to sit down for this one, I swear, because I'll tell you why. Joseph lost it. Yesterday, Chrissy was slapped and thrown out of the house like trash after more than 15 years of standing with Jim Jones. But it wasn't Jim Jones who did it, but Joseph, his own son. You read that right. Jim Jones's son, Joseph, who has always been the calm, restrained one, finally lost his temper. I've been informed that this wasn't just an unplanned outburst. There's a whole backstory, and trust me when I say that after hearing what Jim and Chrissy's relationship has been an emotional roller coaster, as you are well aware, with everything from hell to financial hardship to that awful proposal that never became a wedding. While Chrissy has suffered through it all, Joseph, well, stayed in the background as his father humiliated her repeatedly. However, things really heated up when rumors began to spread a few months ago. After learning about interactions between Jim and Brooke, Chrissy was apparently furious, and were not speaking amicably. Rumor had it that Jim and Chrissy had been fighting over Brooke behind closed doors. Jim allegedly had an affair with Brooke Bailey, the reality personality who has been making waves in the love and hip-hop scene for all the wrong reasons. Oh no, there were late-night come-through and I miss you notes. Yes, Joseph witnessed everything, and it was awful. During Brooke's trip, he saw Chrissy approach Jim, try to persuade her that it was all in her head, and then sneak off to attend business meetings. Joseph wasn't happy, honey, but it wasn't until Chrissy went too far last week that he lost it. Chrissy had arrived to Jim's house to confront him after learning that he had been seen with Brooke once more. According to insiders, Chrissy wasn't just upset, she wanted blood. When she arrived at the house, she was utterly uncontrollable, screaming, hurling objects, and demanding explanations. Jim tried to calm Chrissy down, but she apparently ignored him and began smashing glasses and destroying furniture instead. Afterward, Joseph, who had been occupying the when he finally had enough, he tried to ignore the chaos. He went into the room, stood between him and his father, and ordered Chrissy to calm down. Chrissy reportedly got up and pointed a finger at Joseph before anyone could comprehend what was happening, screaming, "This is between me and your father. Stay the hell out of it." Joseph reportedly became enraged and slapped Chrissy across the face. You heard correctly, Joseph slapped Chrissy. The smack was so loud, according to insiders, that it reverberated throughout the house. Jim, my goodness, just stood there, gaping, and Chrissy stumbled back, clutching her cheek in shock. It wasn't quite over yet, Joseph. After slapping Chrissy, Joseph allegedly pointed to the door and said, "Get the hell out." Chrissy thought he was kidding, but Joseph was serious. Sources claim that Chrissy was forced to leave, stumbling out of the house with tears streaming down her face and standing on the sidewalk in shock, when Joseph allegedly took her purse, threw it onto the lawn, and said, "That's your last warning." Chrissy was still standing there, clutching her face in shock. Jim, however, remained silent and watched as Joseph allegedly opened it and threatened to force him to leave if he didn't go right away. As it happens, Chrissy was hiding some of her own secrets, and trust me, they're far more repulsive than Jim's adultery scandal. When you hear what I'm going to tell you, you'll know exactly why Joseph lost it. I have some receipts. He reportedly secured the door, closed it, and left as if nothing had happened. But why Joseph finally lost it is the subject that has everyone talking at the moment. Why did he suddenly turn on Chrissy after years of silence? If you're still shocked that Jim Jones's son, Joseph GMO, slapped Chrissy's lamp and threw her out of the house, be ready for a messier than expected explanation of why he snapped. If you thought the first part was weird, wait until you hear what Chrissy was hiding all along. You'd better sit down, honey, because I'm going to tell you something that will make that slap seem like a love tap. She gripped her cheek in shock. On the sidewalk when Joseph slapped her and threw her out, and Jim, oh, he was still waiting at the doorway, too astonished to move. But the story didn't end there. According to insiders, here's actually where things become even more explosive, because Chrissy didn't pass away amicably. Oh no, honey. Rumors have it that after Joseph locked the door, Chrissy began hammering on it so loudly that the neighbors could hear her yelling. Everyone is talking about the scene where Jim just stood there and let it happen. Chrissy reportedly stood outside for than 15 minutes, screaming and cursing at Jim and Joseph. Chrissy took out her phone and began making calls as it became apparent that they would not let her go back. Do you know who came? Open the fucking door, Joseph. Anyway, who do you think you are? But Joseph didn't hear it. He said to his father, "Let her scream. She's not getting back in." Yes, honey. The neighbors claimed that Mama Jones, who is known for being a drama queen, arrived at the house in her SUV as if to instigate a fight. After she came up to the front door and slammed it louder than Chrissy, Joseph supposedly stated, "I did what Dad should have done years ago." And Jim allegedly stood there looking like a statue as Mama Jones growled at him and asked, "Have you lost your damn mind?" According to insiders, she pointed at Jim and said, "You're really going to stand there and let him treat Chrissy like that?" Before Joseph interrupted, saying that Chrissy deserved it. Mama Jones said, "Joseph, you need to fix this now." But he refused to back down and told his grandmother that Chrissy had been abusing Dad for that long. "Oh, honey, I've heard enough." Chrissy was still standing outdoors on the grass at this point, crying and shouting. According to those with knowledge of the situation, Chrissy had been doing drugs for years, and since Dad was too frail to stop her, I took care of him. Joseph allegedly turned to Chrissy and said, "Don't act like you're innocent. I know everything now, honey." Chrissy allegedly exclaimed, "I've been using him after everything I've put up with," and hurried back up to the door, which is when the actual tea began to spill. According to insiders, Joseph was prepared to divulge some rather damning details about Chrissy that he had been holding to himself. He allegedly said, "I saw the text, Chrissy, don't play dumb," which made Chrissy go white. But according to reports, Mama Jones sat there astounded, saying, "No, honey, we're not talking about some flirty emojis. We're talking about explicit photos, late-night I miss you messages, and even plans." Joseph is reported to have been fully aware of the identity of the enigmatic man, which further complicates matters. You heard correctly, honey, when Joseph allegedly said, "You think you're slick meeting up with Dad's business partner behind his back?" Chrissy was apparently not just creepy, but also crawling with Jim's business colleague. Joseph was purportedly the owner of the receipts. At first, Chrissy denied everything, but Joseph insisted. Reports state that he took out his phone and showed Jim. The insiders claim that Jim was taken aback upon seeing the screenshots. He reportedly went white after reaching for the phone and reading the texts. She didn't even try to deny it, saying, "You've been doing it to me for years. I was just giving you a taste of your own medicine." Joseph reportedly shot back, looking at Chrissy and asking, "So you thought sleeping with your dad's business partner was the solution? How could you and Chrissy do this?" she said. According to insiders, Jim lost his mind at that point. Mama Jones reportedly sat there with her arms crossed as if I had attempted to warn you. But Joseph reportedly turned to his father and said, "Told you, oh honey. It gets even worse since this wasn't the first time." He reportedly flung the phone across the room and yelled, "Get the hell out!" Chrissy reportedly rushed out, yelling back at him, saying, "You don't get to play the victim now." Insiders claim that Chrissy was seen lurking about for months. Joseph reportedly has proof that she had been doing so. "Oh, honey," said Jim, lowering himself to the couch and placing his head in his hands. He said, "I don't even know who she is anymore." Joseph said he wasn't finished yet. He told Jim, "You think this is the first time, Dad. She's been playing you for years and you were too blind to see it." Even though he is already speaking with his lawyers, this is the part that has everyone talking. Who is this mysterious man Chris has been having an affair with? And why was Joseph so involved in this? You'll understand why he finally lost it when you hear it, honey. Because from what I've heard, Joseph was standing up for something much bigger than his father. But there's still more to come, so don't worry. When Joseph SLA threw Chrissy out after slapping her, everyone thought the climax had arrived, but honey, it was only the beginning. What happened after Chrissy was fired was even more shocking. Because trust me, Jim's entire company might fail as a result of the fallout from this story, not just him and Chrissy. Let's pick up where we left off, because Chrissy is on the sidewalk. If you thought part 2 was nasty, you'll be blown away by part 3, so hold on tight. Jim, who was sitting on the couch with his head in his hands, was embarrassed and furious when Joseph revealed that she had an affair with Jim's business partner. According to people familiar with the circumstances, Joseph wasn't finished yet. He was not only upset about Chrissy's treachery, but he was also upset about the potential financial harm to Jim because, here's the thing, the business partner Chrissy was reportedly having an affair with wasn't just any friend. He was purportedly one of the primary investors in Jim's real estate company, so it's accurate to say, honey, that Chrissy was influencing Jim's finances in addition to his emotions. Joseph reportedly warned Jim that if this were to be found out, he might lose everything, and Jim was already in danger of losing everything. He reportedly got up, grabbed his phone, and began phoning his lawyers, but Joseph was already ahead of him, according to insiders. It wasn't until he saw the receipts that he discovered the depth of Ed Chrissy's relationship with this business friend, whom he had long assumed was engaged. It seems like Joseph told Jim that things would blow up in his face if he didn't stop talking to him right away. According to sources, Jim realized Joseph was correct, and he called his boss to order him to begin terminating any cooperation with Chrissy's enigmatic man and honey. At that point, the situation became even more chaotic because the business partner believed to be Freddie G was not going down easily, according to insiders. The next day, Freddie allegedly called Jim and threatened to sue him, saying that Chrissy had promised him a share in Jim's company, and that if Jim tried to cut him off, Freddie would sue for breach of contract. It's not just that Chrissy cheated, honey. It seems that she used her friendship with Freddie to persuade him to get engaged in Jim's business. According to what I've heard, Freddie is allegedly keeping video recordings of Jim and Chrissy together, and it's not good. Jim was prepared for a battle, and it's a full-on blackmail situation. Freddie is now seeking his share now that the truth is out, and he allegedly told Jim, "If you try to cut me off, I'm going to leak the video." Jim told Freddie that he would regret trying to reveal the footage, according to insiders. However, it is said that things turned ugly because Chrissy was aware of it and was counting on it. Chrissy told Freddie to stop shooting and let Jim suffer if he tried to interrupt, according to sources. Yes, honey, when Joseph saw that Chrissy was not just eating but also actively plotting to hurt Jim, he went completely crazy. Reports state that Joseph approached Chrissy directly, claimed to have called her and asked, "You really think you're going to play my father like that?" Chrissy responded, "I gave your father 15 years of my life, and I'm taking what I deserve." Joseph allegedly retaliated by saying, "You didn't give him 15 years, you used him for 15 years, to which Chrissy said, "So what? He used me too." Insiders claim that Joseph then lost it and called Freddie directly, warning him that if you leak, oh honey, Freddie wasn't giving up and you'll be sorry you watched that movie. Insiders claim that Joseph called VH1 and told them he had a story, which is how things took a turn that nobody saw coming. Freddie allegedly warned Joseph, "If I go down, I'm taking your father with me." Indeed, honey. Joseph told VH1 that he had proof that Chrissy had been cheating on Freddie for about a year, and that Jim knew about it the entire time. According to insiders, VH1 is already working on a special 2-part presentation about the problem and wants Chrissy, Joseph, and Jim to go on camera to discuss it. Chrissy, oh honey, will not let Jim, oh honey, take advantage of the situation and use it as a story of redemption to mend his reputation. VH1 was prepared to exploit it, they alleged. "You already exposed yourself," Chrissy was allegedly told by Joseph. This is where things become even more confusing, though, as sources claim that Chrissy and Freddie are working together to acquire a second deal with BET, wherein they would give their side of events. Yes, honey, Joseph is prepared for the impending, full-on TV battle. Furthermore, Joseph is reported to have told his father, according to reports, Joseph told his father, "She's dangerous. She's already tried to ruin you financially. The next time, it could be worse." Jim, "Oh, honey." Jim reportedly agreed to cut them off completely. No phone calls, no business dealings, no contact. This is the part that has everyone talking. Joseph is allegedly getting ready to file a restraining order against Chrissy and Freddie. Joseph, however, is unconcerned. Sources claim that Joseph told his father that she wouldn't receive any money, and Jim nodded and said, "Let her try." If you believe this is the end, you're mistaken. Freddie is still sitting on Joseph's property. Chrissy, "Oh, honey," is furious. Insiders say she's already threatening to sue Jim for emotional damages and wants half of his business. But one thing is certain: this story is far from over. If that video leaks, it could ruin Jim's career forever. What will happen next? Will Freddie leak it? Will Chrissy sue Jim? Will Joseph be able to prevent his father's empire from collapsing? I have to ask you this. Did Joseph go too far by slapping Chrissy and kicking her out? Or was he simply shielding his father from more harm? What will Jim do next? Will he truly cut Chrissy off forever? Or will Chrissy and Freddie pull off the ultimate revenge and reveal Jim's private affairs to the world? Betrayal? And let's not forget about Freddie. You think he's really going to leak that video and ruin Jim's career, or is he just acting to get his share of the business? And given everything that has transpired, does Chrissy deserve a piece of Jim's empire, or is she just playing the victim? Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and enable notifications if you want to stay up to date and get all the inside scoop. Oh, honey, if you thought this was messy, wait until the next part of the story comes out. The stakes have never been higher, honey. And from what I've heard, this drama is far from over. You already know how this works, so you can be sure that I'll be back with all the juicy details as soon as that video drops. I can assure you that this next bombshell will be explosive, and I know it will get extremely ugly, so stay tuned, family, because you already know that I will have all the exclusive details. Please let me know which side you support in the comments below. Tell me if it's Jim's or Chrissy's, Joseph. I'll see you in the remarks section. The following one.